Okay, I'm gonna show you how I soak my beans. The side note, there are some beans that cannot be soaked. They require cooking before eating, or else you will get violently ill from it. Those would be black beans, red beans, lima beans, pinto beans, and kidney beans. Those 5 beans must be cooked. These, on the other hand, don't require cooking, and they're quite nutritious, so this is why I eat them daily. Lentils, mung beans, and chickpeas, otherwise known as garbanzo beans. So let me show you really quick how I soak them. Put them in a bowl. Cover them with water. These will last me about 2 days. Make sure you cover them with enough water, 2 or 3 inches above the bean, and then place them aside on your countertop for 8 hours. After 8 hours, they'll be ready to eat. If they're still too hard for you, change the water. Can't stress that enough. After 8 hours, change the water. Rinse out the bowl, fill them up again, cover them with water, and continue allowing them to soak for another 8 hours or overnight. But you want to change the water. Can't stress that enough.
Why?
Oh, because if you don't change the water, the spoiling process begins. A film will start. You just want to keep it as clean as possible and fresh. So changing the water helps clean it and keeps it fresh and prevents it from spoiling. So why do I soak and not sprout? Because I, like many other Americans, are very busy, and I'm not going to let being too busy be my excuse for eating bad food, but I am going to allow it to be my excuse for not sprouting as much as I should. I just don't have time to walk past it. This one's sprouting, walk past it, rinse it, move it around, keep an eye on it, make sure it's not going bad, when I could just soak it, 8 hours later, come back, drain it, jar it, put it in my top fridge, and pull it out when I need. So that's why I don't sprout. It's the time consuming. But again, I must say this again, that is not going to prevent me from eating highly nutritious foods. It's just going to prevent me from sprouting. But I do sprout sometimes, and this is how easy I do make it. Other people talk about putting it in a jar and poking holes in the metal lid and all this and cheesecloth and this, that, and whatever. That's way too difficult to me, and again, time consuming. First, I soak them in water for 8 hours, and then I take them and pour them in a colander, rinse them well, and then just place the colander on my sink. Every 4 to 6 hours, I'll walk by it and I'll give it a quick rinse and give it a quick taste. As you can see, the tails are about 1/4 inch long. I find the longer I sprout them, the less flavor they have, but the more nutrients they have. But I'm not an extremist. I'll just do an inch. That would be, this has been sprouting since last night, 11 o'clock. So maybe 24 more hours for an inch for the lentils. Keep an eye on it. Oh, these ones are barely sprouting. These were sprouting 24 hours as well. This is mung beans. They have a teeny tiny little sprout. The germination process has been activated. Nutrients are, the longer it goes sprouting, the more nutritious it is for you. I found that sprouting garbanzo beans, they're the most difficult because you really need to eye them. Keep an eye on them. They're the ones that tend to grow film on the top quicker than the other beans, I've noticed. So you really need to make sure you change your water. You can prevent that by consistently changing your water. Do you see how easy this is? I don't know why it has to be so difficult. But the thing that is really worrying people and scaring people about these ingredients are the lectins. And I wish I had an expert here about lectins. Where is an expert when you need one?
Here I am.
Yes, there you are.
Yep. Yeah, ma'am, I'm your expert here, ready to tell you what you need to know. What's the question?
Well, what is the deal with lectins? How come other people are afraid of it, but I've been eating this way for 30 years and it's fine?
This man that everybody's referring to who started this crazy madness, the lectin madness, is a guy named Dr. Gundry, who wrote a book called The
Plant Paradox.
The Plant Paradox, yes. In which he says lectins are bad for you. They're evil and other anti-nutrients. The word anti-nutrient is the big thing now. Let's exchange the word lectin with human. Saying lectins are bad is like saying humans are bad because they kill, right? So humans are bad. All humans are bad. Stay away from humans. Well, that's kind of the lectin thing. Lectins, you can't just bunch it all into a thing that says they're bad for you, avoid them, don't eat plants. It's ridiculous. He is the most irresponsible buffoon for saying the things that he says. Lectins are so important. I'm going to make a whole video about this. Gundry's been disproven by nutritionfacts.org, half the medical world, and even publicly on TV. Lectins have a purpose. Yes, high doses of beans are too strong for straight human consumption, but low doses of lectins found in most plants can be beneficial by stimulating gut function, limiting tumor growth, ameliorating obesity. A 1963 study showed that lectins can distinguish between cancer cells and normal cells, killing them and removing them from the body. Lectins and fava beans have been found to turn colon cancer cells back into normal colon cells. That is amazing. This was found over and over by over 14 studies, over 2 million participants. And to say that lectins are bad is just insanity. Okay, then there's the other phytonutrient, phytic acid. We're told phytic acid is bad for us. It robs our body of nutrients. Which nutrients exactly? Phytic acid actually has a higher affinity for the dangerous free iron and the heavy metals found in the body than for beneficial minerals. It only binds the minerals in the food that it comes with. So if you're snacking on some nuts, it's going to prevent a little bit of the zinc and iron from those nuts getting into your body. Not the meal you're going to have after that or anything else you're going to eat during the day. And the phytic acid isn't even going to take anything probably from the nuts because it's already bound to the minerals that the plant got while it was in the soil. So it's already bound to the stuff. And when, in other words, the receptors are full, it means it cannot take anything out of your body if it's already holding on to stuff. So the claim that phytic acid robs the body of minerals is a complete myth. Phytic acid is not only an antioxidant, it helps protect against kidney stones. It's anti-cancer because it binds free iron and interferes with carcinogens. It lowers cholesterol and other fats. It lowers blood sugar by starch absorption inhibition. It's anti-inflammatory. You know, this is rarely a concern for those who have well-balanced diets. And how do you get rid of phytic acid if you're so worried about it? You soak it in water. That's it. The water breaks down and degrades the phytic acid. It's a protective coating, enzyme inhibitors and things like that protect the nut or the seed or the bean or the legume or the grain while it's just lying there dry on the ground. And it's designed to be that way so to protect it from insects and things like that until it rains. The water is the activation that makes it dissolve the protective layer, which then allows it to sprout and grow into a plant. So water is all it takes.
And water gives it life.
Water is all it takes to break that evil stuff that's associated with it.
So the myth is that lectins and phytic acid cause inflammation in the body and a host of other problems, right?
And that it takes nutrients out of your body. It's anti-nutrients.
Okay, well, if that were true, I would be experiencing inflammation in my body where I could see it, what people experience it in their face.
And be seriously deprived of nutrition, because that's all you
And your fingernails, if I was deprived of nutrition, my fingernails would be brittle.
And your hair.
And my hair would be like falling out.
Energy levels.
Oh my God, my energy levels are just like ridiculous.
Okay, so here's where the kind of the dividing line is. She's been eating this way for 30 years. She's healthy. She's been a raw foodist for 30 years. It does work. Raw foodism does work. You just have to stick to it. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to have a good variety of, you can't just eat fruit. You got to have greens, you got to have nuts, seeds, you got to have a variety of everything so you get all the minerals and vitamins. Now, for somebody healthy like her, she has strong stomach acid, which helps digest this stuff. Now, a lot of people that eat plant foods, they get bloated, they get gas. That's because their stomach acid is so weak from eating bread and sugar and other things and calcium pills, alkaline water.
In my 20s, when I came back to raw foods, in my late 20s, I was experiencing that too. The gas and the bloatedness every time I would eat raw food. I don't do, thank goodness it doesn't happen. But I was coming from a bad diet. I didn't have the stomach acid required to deal with this powerful food.
You got to eat the right foods. It's also stress release, all kinds of things. And don't just blame it on stress. Eating bread, wheat, sugar, all the crap that you eat, processed food, cooked food, it lowers the stomach acid levels. That's a whole nother chemistry lesson right there. And the second thing is gut flora. Whatever it is you eat, that's the gut flora that you are breeding. If you don't eat a lot of plants, you're not going to have a lot of gut flora that is able to thrive on plants. So you're seriously deficient. And so that's why you start getting gas and indigestion and
I have to interrupt. I can't say enough how important a salad, a real nutritious salad, not, romaine lettuce, a real salad like I make. If you guys ate that, I can't say how important that is. One of those every day.
There are some people who do eat that and they get gas and bloating. That's because their digestive system can't handle it. I made 2 videos about that right here. You have to work your way up to being able to handle that stuff. Now, the sooner you do it, the better you'll get health. You can't just have, I have the gut flora for meat and bread, so guess I'll just eat meat and bread for now. No, well, if you want cancer and you want to get all kinds of diseases later on, fine. But if you want to be healthy for long-term investment, start growing the gut flora that likes plants and start eating them, giving them what they want. You got to learn to say no to that.
And just say yes to the right thing. But if you just say yes to the right thing, then you're like, oh, good, I'm glad I ate that. I'm glad I filled up on the right stuff because I don't want the bad thing anymore.
It's amazing how many people think vegan. Just simply being vegan means healthy. Cookies are vegan. Cereal is vegan. That's healthy because it's vegan. No, raw vegan. But you got to work up to it. And that's why I made those videos up there. And we're trying to tell you why certain people cannot handle raw garbanzo beans, chickpeas and lentils and stuff like that. Some of you have to work up to it. So those of you who just can't handle it, instead of not getting any chickpeas or lentils at all, start with the cooked stuff. Start with that. It's better than bread. It's better than cereal and pasta and cookies. Start with that and then work your way into the raw food. But get it in your diet. You need the minerals and the vitamins and the nutrients that this stuff offers you. So it might not be an overnight switch over for some of you. Don't use that as an excuse for eating cooked food. I'm just saying if you absolutely can't handle raw food right away,
But the beauty of the human body is that we adapt. We are adaptable.
Yeah.
People adapt to good things as well as bad things. And it's just amazing how if your body is clean and pure, and let's say you have that vegan pizza with diet cheese and a wheat crust, you feel it. If you're pure, you feel, But if you've been eating, vegan junk food, you're like, fine. You're like, oh, okay, it's good, it's fine. It's amazing. So if you eat this way, for a while, your body will not only adapt to it, it will thrive on it.
What most people think is normal is, eating vegan. They're tired, they're cranky, their hormones aren't working right, they're losing their hair and their teeth.
So the opposite. I don't know how this poor man does. You're going to be 60 soon. And he never do I hear him go, oh, you're going too fast.
Oh, my back.
I'm the one that says, well, because sometimes we wear high heels. You're walking too fast. Because I can't walk that fast in high heels. But you're this age and you should be in aches and pains. So you guys, I think that, this is what we eat. And I think we can safely say that it's good for you.
Yeah.
It is not the scary things that Dr. Gundry says it is.
Right on.
Okay.
I'll make another video on anti-nutrients and oxalates and all that. Oh my God, it's just insane. I mean, okay, if you're healthy, if you're eating right, having a balanced diet, especially raw food, you're fine. No worry about any of that stuff. And if it was bad, we would not be well off right now because we've been eating oxalates and lectins and phytic acid for 30 or 40 years.
It'll change your life. It'll save your life.
All right, enough lecturing for the day.
I really hope this helps. If you guys have any more questions, I don't know. I think I answered them all. Good water, soaking them, glass containers, no more than 24 hours. Change the water every 6 to 8 hours and rinse the dish.
That's the bottom line of soaking something. You can only leave it in the same water for 6 to 8 hours. That's it. You can eat it right after that, or you can put more water in it, new water, rinse it and put new water for another 6 to 8 hours. And don't do that more than 2 or 3 times. That's the secret for not getting sick or not having this go bad on you.
Right, and when you walk past it, you know, in the kitchen, if you're home during the day, during this process, you know, taste one. See how it is. When you're sprouting it, you know, taste it. See if it's the consistency you like, texture you like, then throw it in the fridge. Okay, bye.
That's how I get her to shut up.
Whatever. I hope it came out good. I know I talk too much, but that's the power of editing. My poor baby, I think about that all the time.